My name is Alex Rich. When I was a child, I grew up believing in God, and many nights before bed, I would pray. But as I got older, my experiences began to separate me from my faith, and eventually, it wasn't something I ever thought about. Then recently, as I was getting to know my girlfriend Megan, she shared that her faith was a big part of her life, and I wanted to support her faith because she means a lot to me. I decided to go to a Saturday service at the Crossing with her. During the service, I felt something inside of me that was incredibly uplifting, and it left me feeling very emotional to the point where I cried and I couldn't explain why. After that night, I immediately knew I wanted to come back to the Crossing the next week for Saturday night service. We did, and for the majority of that service, I focused on what was happening like it was all for me and no one else was in the room. I didn't want to feel caught up in someone else's reactions. The church was doing baptisms in the services that weekend. Some people had signed up ahead of time, but some people, who felt compelled to, were spontaneously getting baptized. I had an urge to stand up and get baptized that night when prompted by the pastor, but then decided that I didn't feel ready and it wasn't for me. After service though, I was again left feeling very emotional and I cried for over an hour. The next morning was Sunday, March 17th. While I was at work, I felt something powerful that I now know was God telling me to make it to the Sunday service. I left work early and I made it to the 11:15 service and went into church knowing what I wanted to do. This time, when prompted to stand to signify wanting to be baptized, I stood with no hesitation. I came forward and was baptized. I vividly remember my head coming out of the water. I had never felt a more cleansing experience in my life and felt God's love fill my heart, and that love hasn't left.